Sisters. The Novel. Part 1. Brita. Chapter 19. The Legs and the Brolly. At first, she really hesitated to try my clothes on, but blouse by blouse her confidence grew, and in an hour or so, the process started to amuse her, and then grew into a frenzy. In the end, we decided to stick with skirts, because my trousers, even the longest ones, which I only wear with high heels, appeared to be too short. Skirts, on the other hand, proved much more flexible. My middies looked more like minis on her, but the longer ones fit just perfectly. Who would be able to tell whether the skirt is supposed to be stretching down to the floor, or only to her ankles? Same with the shirts, as long as they are short-sleeved. The most difficult task was, predictably, finding footwear. Krista admitted to having never tried heels before. When asked why, she just shrugged. Am I too short in flats? But I didn't see how we'd be matching flats with a proper evening outfit. It wasn't easy, but I managed to persuade her, and the whole afternoon we spent rehearsing. I'm a highly skilled heel walker, and Krista learned surprisingly quickly, so by Thursday night she was pretty confident in my lilac Gucci's on 5-inch spikes. Combined with a pencil, navy-colored skirt and a sky-blue sleeveless top, they made her look impeccably ladylike. I suggested a hairdresser first thing Friday morning, to make her splendid curls neatly done, and then we added the last touch to her image, a pair of tiny sapphire earrings and a matching pendant. All in all, by 3 o'clock on Friday afternoon, Christina looked so lovely that I started to fear being lost in her shadow. Robin stayed late at work, as usual, and we decided that he'd come directly to the McNeils as soon as he finished, and Krista and I would go by train. Public transport has always been a headache for me. I love the old London buses, those big, red monsters. I find them charming and classy. But every time I want to ride one of them, I have to break the rules. I can only fit in there if I stand at the spiral stairs, which is prohibited. But what can I do, if both decks are too low to accommodate me, even if I fold in half? The black cab, another great British invention, is much more convenient for a person like me. I can sit in it quite comfortably, but traffic on a Friday afternoon is always nightmarish, so getting from central London to Richmond, where the McNeils lived, would take several hours. It would be even worse should I decide to drive. The buses and black cabs are at least allowed on bus lanes, unlike private cars. And as for the tube, the London Underground, it is always packed. I didn't think we'd have a chance to grab a seat there at that time of day, yet the prospect of standing up, actually, stooping down, for nearly 40 minutes didn't appeal much. So the only realistic option was the train. Normally, it only takes 7 to 10 minutes to walk from our house to the station, but that was not the case. Too many people in the streets ahead of the weekend, too tall are the two of us, trying to squeeze through, too attractive is our appearance, too high in the skies are our heads, too many questions asked, too many photos taken, and 20 minutes later, I started to fear we'd never make it to Waterloo. Happily, it all ended once we entered the station and, relieved at last, settled in a cafe, with tea and muffins, waiting for our train that was due to leave in 20 minutes. And you told me that people were reserved in this country, complained Krista, rubbing her feet, unaccustomed to long walks in high heels. Yes, they are. If you think this is bad, you should go to Japan, I said. At least, here they don't jump to measure themselves up against you. Brits are self-restrained, normally. And you can't really blame them for overreacting tonight. Just try to imagine, you're seeing a person who's nearly twice your height. And this person is a handsome, muscular man. And he's not alone, there are two of them, actually. How would you react? Oh. I would probably faint. No, I would jump at them, right in their arms. See? The same situation, reversed. Now, can you judge men who melt seeing the two tallest and most beautiful women they've ever laid their eyes on? And the most humble ones, ha. Indeed. So can you put yourself in all these men's shoes? This I don't know. Can't imagine something like that, me in front of a woman twice my height. Won't ever happen. Never say never, my dear. Who knows, maybe at this very moment, a girl is growing, who will dwarf both of us one day. I smiled and don't know why, remembered David Short. Perhaps it's just about time you said yes to the Guinness Book, because it might become too late too soon. If you're enjoying the story, or even if you're not, please like or dislike it, share, and leave a comment. Positive or negative, they are all welcome. And do visit my page on Patreon, where you'll find new stories as well as the familiar ones. Patreon.com/Alex Steak. Thank you. You know what, sister? I don't mind at all being outgrown and feeling small next to another girl, she said. I checked the departure screen. Our train, surprisingly enough, wasn't cancelled or even delayed, so we finished our 5 o'clock and moved towards the platform. It was nearly empty, so we ducked into the carriage almost unnoticed, which was always good, especially after the hurricane we caused only half an hour ago. We were even given a rare opportunity to get a seat of choice, so we took a 3-seater. The opposite couch was empty, and this was also good, as we could stretch our legs, not risking hitting anybody. Our luck didn't last long, however. Right before departure, the train started to fill up, and the process continued at Clapham Junction, the next stop. Soon, the opposite seats were taken by an older couple. As soon as we were on the move again, they started discussing fellow passengers, and fairly soon, focused on the two of us. Look, Michael, how long these ladies' legs are, the woman said rather loudly, as if her companion were nearly deaf. Or as if she was a retired teacher. A very convincing tone indeed. I bet they are tall. You think so? The gentleman's voice sounded much softer, but still could be heard by the entire neighborhood. His eyes, behind thick glasses, studied Krista's knees, then mine. Maybe you're right, love. I wonder exactly how tall. I reckon, close to 7 foot. It was annoying. They were discussing us as though we were animals in a zoo. No, Peggy, you must be wrong. I've read somewhere that the tallest woman in this country is not more than 6 feet 9. Mind you, she is the tallest. Which means they must be shorter than that. Well, times change. Look, the handle of your brolly is at the level of this lady's knee, right? I glanced down. Right. So what? So what? The old man echoed my question. Do you remember when I bought this umbrella for you? I mentioned its size. The label read 52 centimeters. What a memory. I bet she could recall to the penny the price of the said umbrella. 52 centimeters is a bit more than 20 inches, right? He shrugged. Since you say so. I do, Michael. Then, you should add the length of the tip above the dome. The tip? This piece of wood the umbrella is standing on now, you silly, and then, the length of the handle. A teacher, no doubt. Combined, they give us another 7 or 8 inches, correct? He nodded, but his eyes betrayed that he didn't understand where she was heading. Neither did I. Or Krista, for that matter. It makes the lady's knees as high as 27 or 28 inches. A math teacher. Now, subtract the length of the heels. I wonder what they would need heels for, if they were 7 feet tall, chuckled the man. Don't you digress, Michael. Quite a stern math teacher. And a rather unpleasant one. It's 4 or 5 inches. What do we have as a result? 23. By contrast, he didn't sound resolute at all. Good boy. 23 inches from heel to knee. And how many lengths from heel to knee would fit into the whole human body length? Michael hesitated. On his face, I could read that calculations weren't exactly his cup of tea. 4. Nearly. I would say 3 3/4. Math or anatomy? This means the lady stands 90 inches exactly. 90? Come on, Peggy, you're overestimating even your own guess by 6 inches. Nobody is this tall. Well, I know, she was a bit confused, maybe for the first time in her teaching career. It doesn't make sense now, does it? But I can't be mistaken in things like this. Of course not. But look at the ceiling, it's no more than 7 feet high. Do you think they crawled into the car? He chuckled again. The sound he was making was pretty close to a creak of a poorly lubricated door. And again, why would they need these heels, then? Fortunately, the train approached Richmond. I gestured Krista to stand up, and we moved towards the doors. Look, Michael, they are slouching. Now, imagine them standing upright. The ceiling would not even come up to their shoulders, then. See, you doubting Thomas. I told you they were more than 7 feet tall. To be continued. If you're enjoying the story, or even if you're not, please like or dislike it, share, and leave a comment. Positive or negative, they are all welcome. And do visit my page on Patreon, where you'll find new stories as well as the familiar ones. Patreon.com/Alex Steak. Thank you.